All right, what is up, guys? Jason Radowitz here, back with an April 29th MLB Best Bets show. This is a show I do every day from Monday through Friday, but it's for Dub Club All Access members. So with that subscription, of course, you get my picks in real time, texted to you. On top of that, you get, hold on, I got something going on here. Okay. So when you get the All Access Dub Club subscription, you will get all the video content along with my MLB best bets and some leans for your parlays, or if you're trying to do more bets or whatever else. I'm there covering every single game from Monday through Friday for you guys, breaking down just like I will be today. So if you enjoy this video, make sure to go down to that description box below, click on the link, and find that all access package for $45 a month. And if you need a little discount code, just reach out to me and I will give you a discount code. But anyway, let's get right to it. It's a long slate, obviously 15 games in the MLB today. A lot of different new series starting up. So lots of action, a lot of exciting stuff going on. And we'll get right to it. So the first game we're going to be talking about, it's the Padres against the Pirates. And for me, for the last couple of weeks, I've been looking at kind of 2011 and 2021 and 2022, looking at the stats combined. But I've adjusted now to say, well, the balls aren't the same. ISO power numbers aren't going to be the same. Nothing's really the same. So I'm starting to kind of look at just 2022 stats now and breaking those down and seeing what we've got there. I'm a guy that I like to usually look at, the last 30 days. Those are my stats, the last 30 days. And so we're not 30 days into the MLB season, but I can't really look at last year's stats because they don't correlate to what's going on this year. So it just makes no sense. And I was struggling doing that because why would we got balls that are being absolutely smoked that are not even making the warning track this season. So a little bit different now. So changing up a little bit of adjustment, and thankfully we did that, and we ended up winning yesterday with the Angels over 2.5 in the first five on the team total at plus 110. I'm looking more towards weighted on base averages. I'm not looking at ISO power numbers anymore as much. Now, if I can get a team with high ISO numbers and weighted on base averages, that would be really good. But I'm looking at more, can guys get on base, create havoc, and score runs, just by creating errors, by creating mistakes, stealing bases. I think that's kind of the way that you need to score some runs down in the MLB because power numbers aren't really doing anything. So I want to find teams that are going to be able to get on base. If you get on base, can you steal? Can you hit, a base hit? Can you get a ball in play when a guy's on third with one out? That's what I'm looking for now instead of more looking towards power numbers, because I had the Braves, I had the White Sox a couple of days ago, and both those two had great home run potential and then fell short with warning track bombs. So with that said, let's get right to it. The Padres versus Pirates. Zach Thompson on the mound for Pittsburgh, going up against Yu Darvish for the Padres. Now, Darvish, he's a guy that's been very, very good. I know his xFIP's a little bit high and his walk numbers are a little bit high. He's inconsistent a little bit, but overall, he's a terrific pitcher going up against a really bad Pirates offense. This season so far, the Pirates, they've got no power outside of Daniel Vogelback. They've got no weighted on base average outside of Vogelback and maybe Hayes. Now, these guys, they do walk a little bit, but the reality is Darvish, he's walked a solid amount of batters so far, but overall, Darvish usually doesn't, walk that many batters. So I like the Padres here. I think that Darvish will have a solid outing in this one. And then you got Zach Thompson on the mound for Pittsburgh. And the Padres don't have the best offense either, but they're going to walk a little bit more, and they're not going to strike out that much. That's what they did last year. They are doing it again this year. They don't strike out much, and they walk a ton. And so if you can get guys on base, good things happen. And we saw that throughout the entire week for the Padres against the Reds earlier this week, like I said. So I like the Padres in this one. I don't have a bet on this one or a lean, but I do like the Padres in that game. Next up, the Mariners against the Marlins. We have Hernandez on the mound for Miami going up against the Mariners, and Brash will be on the mound for the Mariners going up against the Marlins. Now, Brash, a young pitcher, So far, he's been hit or miss, right? So he's getting a ton of ground balls, limiting the line drives, but xFIP's high. Strikeouts are a little bit lower than you would have thought for him, and then the walks are like really, really high. So you get the best of both worlds when it comes to Brash. The Marlins, they walk 10.6% of the time, but they're also getting on base 318. A weighted on base average of 318 against righties with that projected lineup. So there is potential out of this Marlins lineup. Not crazy. You're looking at Chisholm, you're looking at Sanchez as the two bigger bats in that lineup against Brash. And Brash has been a little bit worse to lefty. So there you got those two guys. And then you have Hernandez, higher strikeouts, lower walks, doesn't get many ground balls, but does limit the line drives. When it comes to him, the weighted on base averages are very high. ISO power numbers are also very high. And the Mariners, they have a lot of power in their lineup. They've got France, they have Suarez, they have Toro, they have Kelenic, they have Murphy, all guys with high ISO numbers and high weighted on base averages. And so the bottom of the order for the Mariners will always strike out. There are going to be a ton of strikeouts between Rodriguez, Kelenic, and Murphy. But outside that, you got a lot of guys that can walk, a lot of guys that hit for power, and a lot of guys with high weighted on base averages. So when it comes to Hernandez, who doesn't get many ground balls, he's probably going to allow a lot of line drives in this game going up against that lineup. So I do think the Mariners are the team to beat in this game. So I would go with the Mariners. Again, don't have a bet on that one, but I like the Mariners in that game. All right. Next up, we've got Boston going up against Baltimore. And so it's going to be Rich Hill. And I think it's going to be the rookie pitcher Bradish on the mound for the Orioles. Now, obviously, we don't know anything about Bradish because he hasn't pitched yet in the major leagues. But he's a prospect that's looked really good in AAA. He's, I think, 2-0. He's doing his thing. But, we see a lot of rookies come in and they don't perform so great to start off. And hey, Richard, what's up? Just saw your message. But yeah, he was the guy that they got out of Dylan Bundy. So I don't know. It's not like he's supposed to be that good. He wasn't a first round pick, but he's been very good. And so there's a lot of hype around him. But I'm looking at the Red Sox at minus 130. I mean, that's just kind of ridiculous. The Red Sox going up against the Orioles, minus 130. I mean, even if Bradish has a good outing, I'm sure Rich Hill will shut down the Orioles for the most part. Maybe give up a run or two, but that's it. Then you have the bullpens. Which bullpen would you prefer? You'd prefer the Red Sox over the Orioles anytime. So the Red Sox at minus 130, kind of ridiculous. I would take that any day. Yeah, so Richard, you can just go to YouTube and the video is still up. So you can watch it, anytime that you want on YouTube. It's saved on YouTube with that link that I sent through a Dub Club. Richard was asking about a question on if they can access the videos after they air, and of course they can. They can go right to YouTube and watch it whenever they want. So thanks for the question, Richard. But yes, you can watch it whenever you want. As long as you have the link, because it will be unlisted, so the public can look at it on Monday through Thursday. But as long as you have the link, you can be able to watch that whenever you want to watch. So again, Red Sox minus 130. That's just against the Orioles. You're never going to see that again. So I would definitely take that. All right, next up, Houston going up against the Blue Jays. We got Kikuchi on the mound going up against Urquidy. So both these pitchers have been really bad against righties. So Kikuchi, a left-handed pitcher, you'd expect that a little bit more, but Urquidy has been pretty bad against righties as well. Both have xFIPs above 6 to begin the season, so both have been pretty bad so far this year. Urquidy against righties, 38 plate appearances, 409 weighted on base average, and an ISO of 278. You look at this lineup, right? Are you afraid of Springer, a righty? Bichette, a righty. Guerrero, a righty. Gurriel, a righty. Chapman, a righty. All those guys have really good power, and now they're going up against Urquidy, where they should show some power. And then you've got Kikuchi on the other hand. For the Blue Jays, he has more walks than strikeouts to start the season. Also, weighted on base average of 386 to righties, ISO of 212 and 43 plate appearances. And then on the left-handed side, he has a 308 ISO to lefties, 14 plate appearances, so very small sample size. But look at this Astros lineup. You've got a ton of righties. You got 5 righties, or maybe 6 righties, actually. You have 6 righties. Then you've got Brantley, Alvarez, and Tucker. All 3 of them are pretty solid hitters just in general, and they could hit against Kikuchi. Alvarez, Tucker have power against lefties and can do some damage there. So the over in this game makes the most sense. Over 4.5 in the first 5 or over 8.5 in the full game. I think over in this game makes a ton of sense between the Astros and Blue Jays, and that should be a terrific series between 2 very good ball clubs. Next up, we've got Minnesota going up against Tampa Bay. It's going to be Kluber on the mound going up against Bundy. And so Kluber, 4.88 xFIP, strikeouts are low. Bundy, strikeouts are also a little bit low, but he's really minimized the walks, and he's looked a lot better so far this season, right? Because he's 3-0 with a .59 ERA. Now, can that last? That's a good question. The ground ball rate is very high. The line drive rate is very low. So, yes, it can continue. He's been very good this season. He's nothing like he was last year. He's been very, very good. Then you're going up against this Rays lineup. They're going to platoon. They're going to have a lot of good matchups. But the reality is Bundy's been very good, and I would not fade him right now. There's nothing that says that he's been unlucky, that he's been this, been that. He's been very good. So let's take it how it is. He's been very good. And then Kluber has not been very good. Weighted on base average to righties is a 380 in 38 plate appearances. Strikeouts are low. The walks are a little bit high. Batting average balls in play also very high at 356. Ground ball rate low. Line drive rate a little bit high. So Kluber has not been great at all. And then, like I said, he's been bad against righties. And you'll see a solid amount of righties in the lineup. You'll see Buxton, Correa. Correa's been awful, but we know what Correa's capable of doing. Same with Urshela, been awful, but we know what he's capable of doing. So with that said, I would say that this game probably be a lower scoring game, but I would say that the Twins have a little bit of an advantage in this one. Next up, Angels, White Sox. Actually, it's going to be Mets, Phillies. My bad. Mets, Phillies. McGill against Nola. So Nola struggled against the Mets earlier in the season, but so far in his last 12.1 innings pitched has looked a lot better. So Aaron Nola was really bad in his first 2 starts, but looks a lot better in the second 2 starts. He's going up against the Mets lineup that, I think they were very patient with him last time and kind of got him. They worked some walks, they got some hits, they got some runs and knocked him out early in the game. So the Mets are very capable of having a good outing against Nola here. Nola giving up 290 ISO to lefties, 182 ISO to righties, 4 home runs in 4 games so far. So there is power potential between Nimmo, Lindor, Alonso, McNeil, and McKenna, some power against righties too. So you get this lineup and you're like, all right, the Mets can do some damage. But, same for the Phillies. The Phillies have a great lineup as well. They have a weighted on base average of 345, or a 343 actually, 343. But McGill did shut them down the first time meeting them. Allowed no runs over 5 innings. So with that said, this game can go either way. Both lineups are very good. Both pitchers are very good so far this season. So it's really tough. This is a game where it can go either way, depending on how the pitchers perform. So I would probably stay away from this game. I wouldn't be surprised in either direction, to be honest. All right, next up. We've got the Angels and we got the White Sox. We got Giolito, 3.06 xFIP. Walks are very high, but outside of that, he's been very good. So take that for what it's worth. He's not getting a ton of ground balls, so you can't really get ground ball double plays when you're walking guys, but he's striking out 44.1% of the batters. So it's either he's going to strike you out or he's going to walk you. There's no in between when it comes to Giolito. Now you look at this lineup for the Angels, and it's very good. We've hit the Angels plenty of times already this season. They've got Ward at the top. Ohtani will be back in the lineup. Trout, Walsh, Rendon, Marsh, Dassey. It's a great lineup. They have an ISO of 223, a weighted on base average of 347. They also walk 11.6% of the time and strike out just 21.8% of the time. So you got the best of both worlds with that lineup too. So, I don't want to bet against Giolito, but the Angels could end up scoring some runs. And then you've got, on the other hand, the White Sox lineup that's been absolutely miserable all year against righties. They've got Vaughn, who's destroyed righties. They have Berger, who who has some power against righties, but everybody else has a low weighted on base average. So this team, the White Sox, are 140 ISO and a weighted on base average of 245 while walking under 5% of the time. So Noah Syndergaard should have a good outing today for the Angels, and so I would definitely back the Angels over the White Sox in this game, even with Giolito on the mound. But I do think this game is an under game. But the Angels should definitely be able to get a couple runs across the board, more so than the White Sox should be able to. Again, we also know the White Sox are going to be very good eventually, but for now they haven't been. So, that is what it is. Talking about no offense, now we've got the Rangers going up against the Braves. Ian Anderson, a right-handed pitcher for the Braves. And the Rangers, they have an ISO of .086 as a projected lineup. A weighted on base average of 250, walking just 7.1% of the time. So, like, Anderson has not been the best pitcher, but against this Rangers lineup, he should have plenty of success because the Rangers have not done anything offensively at all against righties. Then you've got Garrett Richards, and I think Spencer Howard will also pitch for the Rangers today against righties. You've got plenty of potential with the Braves, ISO of 185, weighted on base average of 344. And I'm not sure if Acuna is going to play or not today. I know they're trying to ease him back, so he might be out today. But if he's in, just take it as more of a benefit. So those projections or those averages that I just talked about with the Braves, that's without Acuna. So you add Acuna into the lineup, and things get a little bit better for the Braves. So, yeah, give me the Braves in the first 5 in the full game on the team total. However you want, go with the Braves in this game going up against Texas. Okay, next one up, the Cubs going up against the Brewers. Adrian Hauser on the mound for the Brewers, and for the Cubs will be Kyle Hendricks. So two guys that love to pitch to contact. Hauser, 15.6% strikeouts, 10.9% walks. Line drives to 27.7% off of Hauser. And you look at this Cubs lineup, that they do have a solid amount of line drive hitters. They've got Ortega, Suzuki, Hayward, Madrigal, and Horner all hitting at a high rate with line drives. But the ISO power number is still at 127 against righties and weighted on base average 327, which isn't bad. That's probably above average looking at the dead ball era. On the other hand, you've got Hendricks, 4.37 xFIP, 10.2% walks. The line drive rate also 31%, very, very high. And then you look at this Brewers lineup, they're hitting a ton of line drives between Wong, Adames, McCutchen, Renfroe, Narvaez, and Peterson, all hitting high line drive rates. But the strikeouts are high. The weighted on base averages are very, very low. This team has an ISO of 114, weighted on base average of 264 for the Brewers. So that's just pathetic, and wouldn't trust that lineup either. So both lineups stink. Both pitchers stink. It's a stinky game where I would probably stay away from the stinky lines in that game. Next up, we've got the Yankees going up against the Royals. Nestor Cortez on the mound, a left-handed pitcher for the Yankees, going up against a Royals lineup that should have a lot of righties in the lineup. Now, that's the good thing. The bad thing is the Royals lineup has been dreadful. Outside of Perez, who's hitting for power, outside of Olivares, who's hitting for power, and outside of Lopez, who's getting on base, that lineup is absolutely dreadful against lefties. The Royals have a .066 ISO and a weighted on base average of 265 against lefties with that projected lineup. Although they don't strike out very often. So Cortez striking out 44.6% of the batters, and the Royals striking out just 18% of the time. So that should be an interesting duel. But Bubic on the mound for the Royals on the season, a 7.61 xFIP. His walks are way, way higher than strikeouts. So he's walking 22.5% of the batters that he's faced. So over 1 out of 5 batters that he faces is a walk. Striking out just 12.5% of the batters. Not good at all, giving up a ton of line drives. To lefties, he's awful. To righties, he's awful. And the Yankees, they're figuring out offense right now. So LeMahieu, Judge, Rizzo, Gleyber Torres should be back in the lineup. They've all been very good offensively. Stanton, Donaldson, Gallo have not been, but it's a good matchup against Bubic for them. So I like the Yankees a lot in this matchup, and I think the Yankees get the job done over on the team total. Or you can look at minus 1.5, minus 0.5 in the first 5. I like the Yankees to take care of business against the Royals in this game. All right, we've got a couple or 5 more games left, it looks like. I'm going to skip the Diamondbacks-Cardinals game because that is my best bet, but I'll say that until last since we are public and not everybody knows what the best bet is. But if you are on Dub Club already, you already have that play and you already placed that play. So if you want to be like those people, make sure to click that description box below and join my Dub Club subscription program where you can get my best bets texted to you right in real time. As I click the button, I'm sending you off the analysis and the bet. So if you want my best bets, make sure to go into that Dub Club and click on those packages. And I can even give you a free trial if you want. So reach out if you're looking to get a free trial of the Dub Club subscription. Now back to regular programming. We're going to go to the Reds and Rockies game. That's an 8:40 game. Senzatella on the mound going for the Rockies. And we'll have Hunter Green on the mound for Cincinnati. Hunter Green, this is a guy with a 5.31 xFIP. Strikeouts are very high. He's throwing 101 miles per hour. But also the walks at 10%. Ground ball rate low, line drive rate high. So you get the best of both worlds with Hunter Green. Green, the power number is a little bit high to righties. The weighted on base average is a little bit high to lefties. So again, you get best of both. The Rockies weighted on base average of 334 against righties, and also walking 9.86% of the time. So the Rockies can get on base and they can create havoc against Green, but like I'm not gonna say go fade Green. He's a terrific pitcher and he's gonna be great. Then you got Senzatella on the mound going for the Rockies. Strikeouts are very low, but the walks are also very low. Now keep in mind this game is in Colorado, so the over-under is inflated to about 10.5. And you look at this Reds lineup, and the Reds lineup looks awful against righties. They got a .093 ISO and a weighted on base average of 253, striking out 27.5% of the time and walking just 6.7% of the time. So Senzatella has been very unlucky this year. Batting average of balls in play is 472. That means that 47% of the time that people hit the ball, it's a hit against him. So that's going to drop a little bit. Hey, Akbar, it's good to see you. But yeah, that's really, really unlucky. So Senzatella should be better in this game against the Reds. And with the Reds struggling so much offensively, even in Colorado, I would not back the Reds at all. So I like the Rockies in this game. Next up, Guardians going up against the Athletics. We've got Frankie Montes on the mound going up against Aaron Savali. I didn't see this total. This total is sitting at 6.5, and it's Savali against Montes. And Savali's been terrible. Montes has been all right, but Savali's got a 9.58 ERA, and this total is at 6.5. Savali got 6.35 xFIP. The ground ball rate is low. The line drive rate is high. And he's been awful against righties, awful against lefties. I mean, he's been awful. I know the Athletics have not been great either offensively, but, I mean, they got to be able to tack on 3 runs. You get 3 runs from both sides, you get 7 runs, and you're good to go with that over. And then Montes, he's been very good, but, like, Jose Ramirez has been a little bit better. Owen Miller can do some damage. Jimenez on the bottom of the order has done well against righties. So, like, I'm not going to trust Montes to dominate. And even if he does dominate through 6 innings, you get Athletics bullpen for 3 innings, and then you can go and try to get 3 runs there. So if both teams get 3 runs, you're going to get 7 runs. So like the over 6.5 in that game. Yeah. Next up, we've got Detroit against the Dodgers. It's going to be Tyler Anderson versus Tyler Alexander. So that can get a little confusing, but Alexander, then they're both lefties too, so it's even more confusing. But Alexander limits the walk so far. Ground ball rate is a little bit high or a little bit low. Line drive rate is a little bit high, and the strikeouts are also low as well. He's allowed a lot of runners that are batting from the left side as a lefty, which is a little bit odd. The strikeouts are low there, and the walks are also very high there, and not getting a ton of ground balls as well. But you'll get like Freeman as a lefty, you'll get Muncy a lefty, Bellinger a lefty, but the rest will be righties. Still, it's the Dodgers lineup. They're not doing very well against lefties at all to start the season. So, I mean, they got a .089 ISO and a weighted on base average of 264. Like, that's just as bad as the Cincinnati Reds. I mean, you're just destroying them. So, but I would say Freeman, Smith, Bellinger are three guys that can do some damage against Alexander. And then the Tigers, you can't really expect much out of their offense. You've got Hill, Grossman, Baez, all high weighted on base averages against lefties. Torkelson also has a little bit of potential, but outside that, there's nothing going. At the bottom of the order, they're just rally killers for the Tigers. Scope, Candelario, Haas, Castro, all very, very poor numbers and very high ground ball rates. So with that said, I like the Dodgers here more. But, is there value with the Dodgers offense playing the way that they've been playing against lefties? Not really. So take that how you want to take that. Last up, before we get to the best bet, we got the Giants going up against Washington. Washington, another team that's been awful against lefties to start the season. Alex Wood on the mound, so 26.7% strikeouts, 6.7% walks. He's been very efficient and good. A little bit power to the righties. So you've got Nelson Cruz in there, but so far against lefties, he has a .000 ISO against lefties in 27 plate appearances. So I wouldn't worry about it too much, I guess. So I think Wood should have a good outing there against the Nationals. Then you got Aaron Sanchez going for the Nationals, 5.43 xFIP, but he's been very unlucky too. He's got a batting average of balls in play of 375 while getting ground balls at 62.5% and line drives at just 12.5%. So he's been a lot better than I think his stats kind of like to want to show. 8.31 ERA, but he's much better than that. So I'd probably go with the under in this one. I know the Giants, they do have a good offense, but they've been hit with some injuries, right? Jock Peterson just got hurt. They're still without, Estella. They're still without Lamonte Wade. They've been hit with injuries, and the next guy always steps up for this team. But, I would be a little bit weary on betting on this offense right now, just see how they play. But still, they have a weighted on base average of 331 against righties, which is above average in today's game. So let's get back to the one bet for me today. Now, I don't know what the numbers are now. I haven't checked, but if you were on Dub Club, you would have had it already. You would have been able to place the bet. But we're going to the Diamondbacks Cardinals game, and Madison Bumgarner on the mound for the Diamondbacks. He has a 1 ERA. He has a 1 ERA through 4 starts. He hasn't allowed more than 1 run in any start this season. But he has been very lucky. He has a 5.53 xFIP. He's striking out 17.3% of the batters and also walking 13.3% of the batters. Now, the batting average of balls in play sitting at 220, which is very low. He's getting just 43.1% of ground balls, which is low. He's getting 21.6% of line drives, which is very high. And, you look at this lineup for the Cardinals. They have a 257 ISO as the projected lineup, a 397 weighted on base average. They're striking out just 21.4% of the time. They are hitting just 31.2% of ground balls. They're hitting 27.8% line drives. And you've got 7 guys in the lineup that are hitting for a hard hit percentage against lefties to begin the year. So this game might have a little bit of rain in the afternoon. They might have a late start, but once the game starts, they're not going to stop the game. The game will go on. So I'm not worried about the rain whatsoever in this game. I like the Cardinals. I think Edman, Goldschmidt, O'Neill, Arenado, Pujols are 4 or 5 guys that can do plenty of damage. Then you got Carlson, Molina. They're not getting strikeouts, and then Bader is also walking at a ton. So I'm on the Cardinals over 1.5 on the team total in the first 5 innings at -145. Now, I'm not sure if that's still there at DraftKings. I got it in early because what DraftKings does, they usually put the 1.5 numbers up early, and then they'll change it to 2.5 at plus money later on. So that's why if you're on Dub Club and you want to, tell me on these team totals in the first 5 innings, definitely go on with that Dub Club subscription, because DraftKings will end up changing the 1.5 number to 2.5 number later on in the day. I've noticed that. So that's why I'm giving out that play early so you guys can get on it, so you don't need to sweat out a 2.5 number. And like the 2.5 number, it probably will hit 2. Like, I like the number at plus money. There's a lot of value, but so far runs have been harder to come by because of the dead ball era. So I'm not looking to play around or not trying to risk it. I'm just trying to win bets. And getting a 1.5 number at minus 145 makes more sense to me than going for a 2.5 number at plus 120 right now. I'm just trying to stack up wins. And so that's how I think I'm going to be able to stack up wins. Now, if you end up seeing a 2 at like minus 110, I know WinBet, PointsBet are the two sites that will usually give even numbers. So you go look at those two sites for even numbers. Sometimes they have those even numbers there. You get a 2. So at worst, it's a push if you get 2 and you don't get that 3. So you can kind of go that route as well if you want. But for me, I'm trying to get that win, trying to get the Cardinals to get 2 runs and then just win and call it a day. So I'm on the Cardinals over 1.5 team total first 5 at minus 145 via DraftKings. I'm not sure what it's at now, but I would think that's probably moved to 2.5 now because that's what I've noticed what DraftKings has done. But with that said, that is the slate for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys got some knowledge. Hope you guys win your bets today. If you have any questions, please reach out on Twitter. I will be sure to help you out and give you the best answer possible. If you want to join Dub Club and you haven't done so already, I do have some free trials. Reach out to me through Twitter and I will give you the link for some free trials, whether it's the all access or you just want my MLB plays texted to you and you just don't want to worry about the video content or the leans, that's fine as well. Just reach out, let me know what you're looking for, what you want, and I'll make sure to help out and be there for you. For the Dub Club members, I will not be here Saturday or Sunday. I'll be back here on Monday with the entire slate of games, but I do take off Saturday and Sunday so I don't burn out doing this every single day. But anyway, I really appreciate everyone's support. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you guys next Friday. Will be public, but for now, Monday through Thursday, it's private via Dub Club. So anyway, appreciate everyone, and I'll see you guys soon.